Hello, back for another project of the 21 and 21 project in 21 days. This one is going to be the final project in the FinOps series. So we're going to be looking at using PostHog, which is a analytics tool for understanding traffic and all sorts that come through your web app and running tests. Really understanding why conversions and what if you want to understand aren't going through, or what is working. Just a great way of using the data you kind of already have access to, just sort of turning it into visualizations and then creating experiments with those. So yeah, super cool project. Really looking forward to walking through this one. This project does build on the previous two in the series. There is a catch-up section, so if you haven't done them, that's cool too, but I'd recommend doing them in their entirety. They're setting up the e-commerce site we're using in V0, and so using Vercel, V0, and Cursor as well. The second part is Stripe payments, so setting that up. And then this last one is, like I said, using PostHog, the tool PostHog, to understand data and then do something about it. Cool, so privacy first, checkout analytics. Build conversion funnel tracking with PostHog that reveals drop-offs without storing sensitive payment data. This is a relatively easy project, should take around 45 minutes, probably take a bit longer than that because I'm doing it and explaining what I'm doing. I've gone over the related projects, they're just projects from the series. Key concepts are PostHog, Vercel, analytics, and privacy compliance. Cool, so here's a 30-second summary. Imagine your checkout is live, users visit, some buy, most don't. Where do they drop off? Is this the product page, the checkout form, the payment step? Without analytics, you're just guessing. Companies like Brainboard, Y Combinator, and Superbase use PostHog, as well as Nextwork, we use it as well, for privacy first analytics. They track checkout funnels to see exactly where customers abandon their purchase, then fix those gaps to boost conversions without capturing sensitive user data and user and payment data. So you'll build the same analytics setup through Cursor's chat, installing PostHog, tracking events, and building conversion funnels without writing manual code. So an overview of what you'll build. So you've got the user on the browser, so that they visit the checkout app, triggers page views, they click into payment actions, and then on our Next.js, so hosted on Vercel, our Next.js app hosted on Vercel, the PostHog SDK is initialized, and then analytics tracking functions capture so page view on landing, clicked the specific product, checkout initiated, payment submitted, and payment succeeded / failed. So we're looking at the entire flow from when someone lands on our page, we want them to get to the end, and to getting to the end. And obviously there will be some fall off, but you want that to be as a minimum, the minimal as possible. You want the most amount of people that go onto your site to convert to paying users, whatever that is. In this case, it's an e-commerce store, but that could be really anything. So then you've got the PostHog Cloud, which receives event stream from this SDK, software development kit, the PostHog one that's initialized here, stores behavioral data only, and provides conversion funnels, session replays, and browser device breakdowns, and more. There's more you can do with PostHog. Cool, so in this project, you'll use PostHog to set up privacy-first checkout and analytics, track conversion funnels, and learn the methodology for finding and fixing drop-offs. So why privacy-first analytics? Traditional analytics often store sensitive data like card numbers, emails, addresses. That's a liability you don't need or want. What you need is visibility without risk. PostHog lets you track user behavior without storing PII. You'll see exactly where users abandon their purchase without ever touching their payment data. This keeps you compliant with PCIe DSS, is just law like the GDPR is the European one set up for data privacy, and PII is personal identifiable information. So if I have someone's address or a phone number, I can theoretically use that to find who who this person is. And we don't want to store that. So you don't need any prior analytics experience. This project teaches you the workflow professionals use to optimize conversions. And you're very welcome to use the ask feature here to check if this project's right for you. You can ask the chat, and then it's going to give you some feedback and suggest if it's the correct option for you. Cool. So first, you'll install PostHog and set up event tracking for your checkout flow using Cursor. Then you'll build a conversion funnel in PostHog to visualize where users drop off. Finally, you'll learn the data-driven methodology that companies use to turn funnel insights into conversion improvements. By the end of this project, you'll have privacy-safe event tracking set up with Cursor prompts and PostHog, a conversion funnel from landing page to successful payment, and then if you do the second mission, we're going to do some A/B testing for different checkout button styles. You can do really anything with A/B testing, but that's what we're going to do. So what do I need before starting? This project builds on the landing page part 1 of the series and the secure payments with Stripe part 2. So you'll reuse the entire application. So it's really crucial you've done that. And it's PostHog free. Yes, it is. PostHog offers a generous free tier with 1 million events per month, more than enough for this project, and you won't need a credit card to get started. There's a quiz here. If you want to do that before you start, you're very welcome to. We'll leave it till the end. And we'll be walking through the step-by-step guidance in this video, but there is a low-touch sort of some guidance, and then on your own. So just going through and doing all the bullet points there, if you feel really confident in this area. Cool. And if you get stuck, feel free to reach out to the community. Plenty of people are able to help there with this project and other projects in 21 and 21 and all the projects, but that's our focus right now. So before we start step 1, what are we doing in this project? In this project, I'm going to set up PostHog to monitor my web app. PostHog is a tool that allows me to better understand traffic, or my application's traffic, and turn this into actionable items that result in better results, e.g. better conversions. Privacy first analytics means I don't need to worry about storing sensitive user information like passwords, or maybe not, maybe like addresses, phone numbers, etc. Cool, so what are we doing in this project? In this project, I'm going to set up PostHog to monitor my web app. PostHog is a tool that allows me to better understand my application's traffic and turn this into actionable actionable items that result in better results. That results in better outcomes, e.g. better conversions. Privacy first analytics means I don't need to worry about storing sensitive user information like addresses, phone numbers, etc. Wrote it twice, etc. Cool. Alright, step 1. So we're going to track checkout events without storing sensitive data. Your checkout is live if you've done the project, but you're flying blind. Users visit, some buy, most don't. Where do they drop off? Is it the product page, the checkout form, the payment step, or that analytics you're just guessing? Here's the challenge. Traditional analytics often store sensitive data, card numbers, emails, addresses. That's a liability you don't need. What you need is a visibility without risk. That's exactly what we're about to build. We'll set up PostHog for privacy first analytics, tracking user behavior through every step of the checkout without storing any PII. That's the personal identifiable information. You'll see exactly where users abandon their purchase without ever touching their payment data. Very good. So in this step, get ready to sign up for PostHog, the free tier. It's not going to cost you anything. Install the PostHog SDK into your Vercel app, and then add event tracking for checkout flow events. So what are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm setting up PostHog install plus sign up to track checkout or event tracking. Oh, actually, we'll just go straight to track checkout flow events without storing sensitive data. This is important because storing this kind of data is a liability. What are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm setting up PostHog, that's installing and signing up, to track checkout flow events without storing sensitive data. This is important because storing this kind of data is a liability. Cool. Alright, so before we begin, if you've completed parts 1 and 2, you're all good to go. If you're starting fresh, then there's this path here as well that you can definitely follow. There's steps how to catch up to what we did, but you're very welcome to also just do the projects themselves. There's a few steps here because there's 2 projects, so yeah, more than welcome to follow this or go do the projects in full, but I'm already done this, so we're just going to go down that I completed parts 1 and 2. So you already have a working checkout flow with Stripe integration. Your Vercel app is ready for analytics. Open your existing folder in your code editor. Make sure your app runs locally, and continue to the next section. Cool. Open up cursor in the background. PostHog offers a generous free tier with 1 million events per month, more than enough for learning and for small projects. Now we're going to go and create an account. So I do have a PostHog account, but I will go through the process of creating one on a new Chrome profile. So we'll go here, and I will just open up a separate Chrome profile so we can walk through this. Cool. So we'll go to PostHog, we'll click Get Started Free. Take us to a sign up page. We're going to continue with GitHub. That's what we're doing with this project, with this series, where we're using GitHub to make sure everything's synced together. So I'll just sign up on that over here. Cool, so I'll just click dashboard here. Create an account and then go to GitHub. Cool, so I'll just call my organization Kahu's Next Work Store. What's your role? We can just say data. Click Create Organization. Cool. Awesome. So we can select product, analytics, session replay, and experiments, then click Get Started. It doesn't really matter. We can probably just click myself, but oh, there you go. So product analytics, session replay, that's in here somewhere, and experience. Cool. All right. So why are these three products? These are our steps we're doing effectively. So product analytics is steps 1 and 2, session replay is step 3, and experiments are secret mission, final thing. Cool. So I've opened Cursor in the background, and we're just going to go get our API keys now. So I've got Cursor just here. I'll put it here briefly. I'll move it once we don't need it anymore. So yeah, we'll select Next.js. That's the framework we're using, and then we can see here the installation steps. So we'll copy this, go into our .env, and yeah, so we'll go over this first. Get your API keys. Now let's add PostHog to your project. PostHog will give you framework-specific instruments or instructions, based on the type of your app. Select Next.js from the framework list. Why Next.js? Because your checkout app parts 1 and 2 is built with Next.js. PostHog will give you a framework-specific setup instructions to match your app. So we'll click Next.js, and then we'll just copy these environment variables into our .env.local file inside of our web app. Awesome. Yeah, or you can just paste the key in there and then go from there. Cool, so we're going to open terminal inside of Cursor and run the command to install the PostHog SDK. Shouldn't take too long. Cool, looks like it's installed. So successfully installed, that's great. There's also I got an error, so you can go, if you had an error in that case, maybe there was a conflict in the package install, then you can go down there. You're not the right directory. It could have an impact. So yeah, but we successfully installed, so we'll go down that path. So now we're going to initialize PostHog in our app using Cursor. Nice. With the SDK installed, let's initialize PostHog so it starts tracking when your app loads. Let's open Cursor's chat and then send this prompt. So I'm going to replace this side with Cursor here, a bit bigger. Cursor's chat, so that's Control L or Command L if you're on Mac. We'll send this prompt off. This is from the previous project. Just close that. Cool. So this prompt is saying implement PostHog initialization with instrumentation client.ts and ensure it's imported/executed so that PostHog initializes it when the app loads, and then it lists where the API keys are. Cool. So we'll just let that whirl away. What is instrumentation-client.typescript? This is a special Next.js file that runs code when your app first loads in the browser. Cursor will create the file and set up PostHog and initialization here. It reads your API keys for environment variables, so your secrets stay secure and never get committed to code. Awesome. Cool, so just waiting for Cursor to go through and do that. so it's finished doing that. It says PostHog will now initialize automatically when the app loads using those keys. Great. Awesome. So now we're going to track the key events in our checkout flow. So what we want to track effectively, what we're asking is create analytic tracking functions for my checkout flow that track the following events. So there's page view landing, there's clicked product, there's checkout initiated, payment submitted, and payment succeeded / payment failed. Cool. So while the cursor goes away and does that, we can read about why are we avoiding PII analytics in our analytics. PII, or personal identifiable information, is any data that can identify a specific person, like card numbers, emails, billing addresses, etc. By excluding this from the data we're tracking, we avoid legal liability and stay compliant with privacy laws listed there. There's GDPR, most popular, or common one that we're interested about online. And you can still understand where users drop off without storing this sort of sensitive data and information. Should be almost finished now. Cool, so it's given us a summary. Centralized tracking functions for all checkout flow events. No PII, emails, card numbers, billing addresses, or transaction amounts. Implemented tracking events. So page view landing, click product, checkout initiated, and payment submitted, and payment succeeded. And failed too. Very good. Cool. So now we're going to integrate events into your checkout flow. So Cursor just created your tracking functions. Now let's wire them up to your actual checkout components. In Cursor's chat, send this prompt. So the prompt is integrate the analytic tracking function into my checkout flow. Track page view landing when the landing page loads. Track clicked product when the user clicks. Oh, maybe did I already? Okay, cool. Cool. So track page view landing when the landing page loads. Track clicked product when the user clicks on a product. Track checkout initiated when a user starts the checkout. Track payment submitted when the payment form is submitted. Track payment succeeded or payment failed based on payment result. Awesome. So what is Cursor doing here? Cursor will find the parts of your app that handle checkout, product buttons, payment forms, success pages, and add code that records when users interact with them. This creates the data trail you'll use to build funnels in PostHog. And yeah, accept Cursor's changes there. Alright, so now we're going to deploy our changes to Vercel. So as we spoke about, Vercel relies on a Git repo, which we've set up in the previous two projects, and that's so whenever we push anything to it, it will automatically sync and then deploy that stuff. So what we'll do is we'll just clear this. It's a little bigger. Close that, and then we can run these commands. So git add all. We can do git commit -m add PostHog analytics tracking. Just push that. Nice. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll just go onto our GitHub and we will have a little look to see if this has loaded. Yeah, it can take 30 odd seconds for the push to come through. Awesome. So we can see here that that little smaller, that green, oh, went away when I decreased the size. This green tick means that the push to Vercel was successful. So we can go look at this. Yeah, so we can see that's come through. So the changes we've just made, not visual, but in the back end have gone through and have been applied successfully. So we're good to go. Yeah, so we can see that on our Vercel dashboard. We see ready. We see the things come through, and we'll take a screenshot of that. How did you deploy your PostHog tracking code and verify it was successful? I deployed it by running git add commit then push. The deployment succeeded, which means my new code is live on the web app. This confirms that the new PostHog function tracking code was well written and is now deployed. How did you deploy PostHog tracking code and verify it was successful? I deployed it by running git add commit then push. The deployment succeeded, which means that my code is now live on the web app. This confirms that the new PostHog function tracking code was well written and is now deployed, or is now live. Awesome. And I'll full screen for a second. You can use the view my work here to see what you're building so far with your documentation. I definitely recommend it. I think it's super cool, and you can see what's going on. I'll keep it closed for right now because it's a bit tricky with the size of our window, trying to show two things, but I'll go over it at the end also. Alright, so let's verify events in PostHog. Time to see your tracking in action. Open your live Vercel app URL, click around the app, view a product, click checkout, go to the payment flow, and you should see something. So what we'll do is we'll just head over to Vercel again. Head over into our project. So I'm just getting to the URL domain of our project. So this tab here is making sure you're in the right spot for actually understanding whether you've correctly set up the PostHog thing so you see an output. It's different if you're just creating a new account or if you've got an existing account. So verifying events in PostHog, time to see your tracking in action. Open your live Vercel app URL, click around the app, view a product, check out, go through the payment flow, just to get views on the page. Technically viewing it should be enough. But we'll go on here and we'll click around, click buy now, place order, just get some interaction with the app. Cool. So we're on a new account, but if you are on an existing account, there's steps here for how to see what's going on. You just go look at the activity sidebar, opposed to just when we open this, we'll probably see it immediately. Go to PostHog. You can see installation complete there, and then I click continue. Can I go back? I can. Installation complete. So that means you can see here it did say like a page view required to complete the installation to make sure it's set up, and we did that. We reviewed the page, refreshed it, so it's gone through. So we're good to go. We know everything's linked up. Cool. So installation complete. Great. No events detected. It's another possibility. Most likely thing is environment variables aren't linked up. It's really important to make sure they are included. Awesome. So yeah, check your API key, check deployment, check console, try incognito if everything else fails, and then yeah, you can go to the community or use the ask feature as well if you're struggling with this. So in our case, it's working. So this means your tracking code is properly installed and sending data. Every click, page view, and checkout action is now being recorded without any sensitive payment data. Cool. So click continue. And we'll click enable session replay. We can skip this for now. Skip for now, and then select the free plan. Cool. All right. We don't have any teammates for this project, so we'll just click finish. But if you have anyone you want to add, you're very welcome to add them. Awesome. So we can see our dashboard. We can see our view there, one unique view. So that's great. We know everything's being synced up. So welcome to your analytics command center. From here, you can see everything happening in your app, every click, every page view, every checkout attempt. Great. So we're going to view our events. We go to here, then activity. We can see the clicking around that was done on our web app after we've set it up. So we should see all sorts of payments submitted there, all sorts of tags that we included at the start. We prompted Cursor to include in our list of events we're looking for. So look at that, real user data flowing in. Notice what you're seeing is page view landing, clicked product, checkout initiated, payment submitted, payments exceeded. This is your entire checkout funnel captured step by step, and look what's not there. No card numbers, no emails, no addresses, just behavior data. Awesome. This is the foundation of privacy first analytics. You now have the complete visibility into your checkout flow without any of the liability that comes with storing sensitive data. Cool, so we can explore our data now that events are following. Try exploring what PostHog captured. Click individual events to see their properties. Notice the timestamp, browser, and location, all non-PII, personally identifiable information, which is what we don't want. Look for patterns, events coming through in the expected order. So we can see CTA or click product, CTA, product viewed, rage click. That's when a lot of clicks happen at once. And then clicked into buy now. That makes sense. It's a page view. We can see this information here. I can expand it. Look at some other stuff here. So yeah, really over what we're doing at the moment. It's probably not quite required to look at the exact latitude and longitude of someone. We can look at the browser and other things, and we should be doing some browser stuff there later on, using browser stuff inside of PostHog, but not a requirement for this. But it's still really good to see all this information, how much stuff is actually tracked. The more you explore, the better you'll understand what data you're collecting. In the next step, you'll turn this raw event stream into actionable funnels that show you exactly where users drop off. Cool, so we'll upload a screenshot of our PostHog, of your events in PostHog. So I'll just scroll to the top here. And then I will paste this image in. What events did you see in PostHog, and why is this data privacy compliant? I verified events by checking the activity section of the dashboard. The events I saw include page view landing. What else do we have? There's buy now clicked, product, etc. Plenty more in there. Data. This data is privacy safe because we do not have access to PII from the user. What events did you see in PostHog, and is this data privacy compliant? I verified events by checking the activity section of the dashboard. The events I saw include page view landing, buy now clicked product, etc. This data is privacy safe because we do not have access to PII from the user. Very cool. Awesome. So finding your biggest drop-off point. Your tracking is live and data is coming in. Nice work getting this far. Now let's turn this that raw data into a visual funnel that shows you exactly where users abandon checkout. So in this step, get ready to create a funnel in PostHog tracking the full checkout journey, identify your biggest drop-off point, and filter by browser to find patterns. Awesome. What are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm building a funnel inside of PostHog to track the full checkout journey of users. Well, users to identify where they might be stopping along the way. This helps me understand why conversion rates are what they are. So conversion rate is going from effectively point A to point B, where that might be like landing on the page and checking out. In the step, what are we doing in the step? In the step, I'm building a funnel inside of PostHog to track the full checkout journey of users to identify where they might be stopping along the way. This helps me understand why conversion rates are what they are. Check your conversion funnel. A funnel shows how users progress through a series of steps and, more importantly, where they leave. In PostHog, go to Dashboards and click Add Insight. Cool. Go to Home, Add Insight here. Select New Insight. Cool. Go to Funnels. And now we're going to add some steps here. So our first one we're going to do is page view landing. Load. And now we're going to go through all of the steps that we had before. Cool. So we'll select page view landing. Then we're going to click add a step. And we're going to select clicked product. Oops. Another step. And then buy now clicked and payment submitted. Oops. And then, last but not least, payment submitted. You will call this landing to purchase funnel. Then we'll select save. Awesome. So we'll upload a screenshot of our funnel, and then I'll explain sort of what we're looking at here. what does your funnel show off, and where is the biggest drop-off. I created a funnel with steps. What do we actually use? I can't remember. We can look there. Page, view, landing, clicked, product, buy now, clicked, and payment. Oops, payment submitted. The biggest drop-off is between. I think this is like kind of a interesting one because there is no drop-off, and the way because it's very dependent on how you test it. If we would go back and test this by not going all the way through in a payment sort of flow, then you would see a drop-off, but we don't have a drop-off because of the way I went through the checkout. So we'll just say that is between there is no drop-off currently because I did one test run through. This indicates that. Get rid of that. So I expect this to change when I run when I get more customers. So yeah, I kind of explained what I said I was going to, but and we go on to this shortly, but this is not what it'll look like for a typical checkout. It'll look quite different, in fact. So we can have a look here about, so this is the funnel there. So what do these numbers mean? Total conversion rate shows the percentage. I wonder if we can, so that's total conversion rate there. Shows the percentage of users who completed all 3 steps. The average time to convert shows how long the journey takes. Each bar shows how many users reach that step. So if you see your funnel, that's great at this point. If you don't, then you probably don't have enough events. Maybe there's environment variables configured incorrectly. Also, maybe a time range here is incorrectly selected. If you still can't see data, then I definitely recommend using the Ask feature by clicking on this button here to ask the AI chat. And then if that doesn't work, then you can definitely reach out to the Network community and ask them any questions you have there. Cool, so understanding drop-off patterns. This is probably one of the most important pieces of information from this project that it would be impossible to show off in the short term because it really requires a large number of users on an app, or at least a number of users on an app, not just you clicking around. So that's why we've sort of given examples here of what this could look like. So an example of a healthy funnel, and I'll just make this a little bigger. Oh, that's the one we're on now. This. A healthy funnel could look like this. So you've got 1,000 people at the start, and that transitions down to a smaller number that actually click and are interested on the product, and then an even smaller number actually go to the buy now page and hopefully pay. You can be super granular with this. You could go like how close they are, how close their cursor is in terms of proximity to different buttons and whatever. But this is like the overall outlining, a common outline you would see for this sort of an e-commerce store with a product page, a landing page, a product page, and a buy now space. So you've got a total conversion rate of 12%. That's reasonably good. That's over 1 in 10 people that visit your site at all will purchase your product. So that's pretty good. Obviously ours is perfect because we just did one run through and we were testing it. And we've got an average time to convert there, which is important. But yeah, this is what you'd expect to see, a gradual drop-off, probably quite a large drop-off towards the buy now, actually paying for the item. But this is healthy. This is what it should, in a perfect world, this is what it would look like. But over here, if you see a cliff, a massive drop-off in one specific step, that's not normal user behavior. That's a problem with your product. So you can see here, plenty of people, 1,000 people, same group, viewed this landing page, and then the next landing page only gets 20% of the viewership, opposed to you'd expect more people to just go from landing page to actually initially looking at your product. So this should tell you, hey, look, maybe that's a really hard button to find. Maybe the landing page takes a long time to load. It really allows you to ask questions. It won't give you your answer immediately. It'll tell you where to look. So yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, so as it notes here, in a healthy funnel, you'll see a gradual drop-off at each stage. Some users will always leave. That's normal. Maybe they were just browsing or got distracted or decide to buy later. That's normal. But there's still a consistent drop-off opposed to a huge one and then flat. That's unusual. Where should you focus? So landing page product, click low. Your products aren't grabbing attention. Try better images, clearer titles, or featured products. Product to buy now. So the landing page of product is what we saw here. This is a very large cliff drop. So you'd be wanting to look into products like better images, clearer titles, or featured products potentially, or other stuff too. It really depends on the store or other environments. Product to buy now is low. Users are interested but not convinced. Check your pricing display, add reviews, or improve your call to action button. Buy now to payment low. Users want to buy now, but something's stopping them. Look out for checkout bugs, confusing forms, or missing trust signals. Awesome. Okay. So now we're going to filter by browser, as I spoke about before. We were talking about how we're going to set up filtering. So now we're going to do that. Cool. So we're just going to click Edit here on the same landing to purchase funnel, and then we're going to scroll down and see the plus Add a Breakdown button. And if you're wondering what the difference between a breakdown and a filter is, a filter will simply, if you could filter also by browser, and if you wanted to filter by Chrome, you would, in this case, I would see 100% of users on Chrome, because I opened this on Chrome, but if all of my users were on Firefox for some reason, I would see nothing in here. So that's good for some things, but not so good for others. If you're interested in what percentage of people are on each, then a breakdown should be what you go to use, because you can set up Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari, whatever, and you can understand people viewing from different browsers, and that's that makes that really clear. So that's what we're going to do. Cool. So we're going to click plus breakdown. We'll select browser here on the menu. And now we can see that Chrome is 100%. So if we were to, and I might give this a go, see if this can take a little bit of time for this to load, or to update, sorry. See if Microsoft Edge wants to play ball. Just refresh and click around for a little bit. But yeah, so if we try go to buy now and then make a purchase, we might get lucky and this might update live, but also might struggle. So I'll click save and see if we can just wait a minute, but it will definitely come through. It just can take a minute or so sometimes. Yeah, we might just give that. Just leave it at that, but it will come through. It just needs some time. PostHog can take a minute sometimes. Cool. All right, very good. Yeah, and this shows the each of the rows shows the different browser, which is really clear. And yeah, so here, just like that, it's quite hard to immediately see changes, because it can take a little bit of time, and sometimes that might not even have registered as as a thing, as an event in PostHog. So yeah, it's very hard to get a bunch of data and actually have a good look at it here in a real web app in a project. So we've given you some example tables, and sort of the idea is you use those to understand what a good layout of browsers in this case. Before it was fall off for customers going from looking at your website to go and paying at the end. This time it's you get to spot something wrong with a specific browser because there's actually a lot of stuff, a lot of nuances between browsers, namely Firefox and Chrome, that will something might not render as you expect on one. Shaders is famous on Chrome for causing issues, and other stuff in Firefox can cause similar problems. All these browsers are actually built on Chromium, but there's nuances between them. Cool. So this is what a good example would look like. Very similar conversion rates between. Nothing really you can take home from this, apart from the fact that it looks like your site's functioning well across all browsers. So a healthy breakdown shows similar conversion rates across browsers. All browsers should perform roughly the same. Users on Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge should all be able to complete a checkout. Cool. Very good. So this is what a browser bug could look like. So if you look here, all of the things have pretty standard outcomes, but in this case, Firefox has dropped all the way 95% to the very end. So clearly, I would almost say, I can almost guarantee that in this situation there would be a bug which stops people maybe on desktop or mobile or whatever your larger audience is from checking out due to something special on Firefox. So yeah, definitely good to look into that. So in one browser, or if one browser has significantly lower conversion, you found a bug. In this example, Firefox users are dropping off way more than other users. This indicates a potential issue with our app running on Firefox browsers and is definitely worth investigating. Awesome. So time to open Firefox, go through your checkout flow and find what's breaking. Why do browsers behave differently? Not all browsers render web pages the same way. Even when we use identical HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, each browser has its own rendering engine. Chrome uses Blink, Safari uses WebKit, Firefox uses Gecko, which can interpret code slightly differently. Common causes is CSS, Flexbox, or grid rendering differently on Safari. Newer JS versions not supported on older browsers. Form elements styling differently in Firefox, and scroll behavior on mobile browsers. Cool, so we'll just send a screenshot of this. Go down there. What did the browser breakdown reveal about your funnel? I had a browser breakdown by editing my funnel and enabling breakdown for browsers. The conversion rates show a perfect, in this case perfect, maybe not perfect, a 100% breakdown for, or 100% chance breakdown for Chrome users. This reveals that with 100% checkout success rate, this reveals that our site's Chrome users are able to successfully use our site. So what did the browser breakdown reveal about the funnel? I added a browser breakdown by editing the funnel and enabling breakdown for browsers. The conversion rates show a 100% breakdown for Chrome users with a 100% success rate in checkout. This reveals that our site's Chrome users are able to successfully use our site. Or Chrome users are successfully able to use our site. Very good. Alright, turn drop-offs into conversion improvements. You've built the analytics infrastructure. Now let's walk through how companies like Wowzer use the same data-driven approach to increase conversions by 10% and reduce time to purchase from 2 days to under 4 hours. Since you're setting this up for demo purposes, you won't have any real customer data. Instead, we'll walk you through the methodology so that you don't. So when you do have traffic, you'll know exactly what to do. So in this step, get ready to learn how to form hypotheses from funnel data, understand common fixes for each drop-off point, and verify your session replay is privacy compliant. What are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm learning how to turn my funnel data into, or learning how to increase my conversions. Converting hypothesis into actions to turn a low conversion rate to a high conversion rate. This increases profits. This methodology helps me, we can say, move that to there, increase the number of customers in the checkout. What are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm learning how to increase my conversions, converting hypothesis into actions to turn a low conversion rate into a high conversion rate. This methodology helps me increase the number of customers in the checkout. So data-driven improvement process. When you have real life traffic, here's the process you'll follow. Identify, find your biggest drop-off point, hypothesize, form a theory about why users are leaving, and make a change, address to that theory, and then measure, compare the before and after conversion rates. So let's walk through each step with real-world examples. So let's spot the difference. Let's take a look at the example data from the previous step. This doesn't look like a normal checkout flow. Instead of a gradual drop-off at each step, there's a sharp cliff at one specific point, just here. So how do you spot an abnormal funnel? A healthy e-commerce funnel has a gradual decline, maybe 60% of new products, 30% add to cart, 15% checkout, and 10% complete payment. If you see one step with a massive drop, others stay flat, that's your red flag. Something's broken in that step. So let's form a hypothesis. Start with the data, look where the data drop off happens. So that's here. Ask why, not what. Don't just say users aren't clicking, ask why. So in this case, it may not be attractive enough. Is the button hidden? Is the price scary? Make it testable. Your hypothesis should suggest a specific change you want to make and measure. This page is bad, is testable. Users can't find the products. Users can't find products is a better one. Suggests a fix you can verify. Now let's apply this for our example. See that cliff between landing page and checkout clicked? Users are landing on the site, but very few are clicking through to view products. However, once users do get to the product page, they have a very high chance of checking out and actually completing the payment. This tells you exactly where you need to focus. The landing page isn't doing its job. For a landing page to product click drop off, common causes are products aren't visible, no clear call to action, CTA, landing page is confusing or cluttered, users don't understand what you're selling. Why do you think this pattern can be seen? So what's your hypothesis? I think that say products aren't visible or compelling enough. I think this because the conversion rate from landing page to checkout or to product page is very low. Awesome. So let's fix the issue. Now let Cursor work its magic. Give it your goals and hypothesis. It will figure out the right changes to make. in Cursor's chat send this prompt. So we'll hop back over here, we'll open up this chat, and then I will send that prompt off. Based on this hypothesis, improve the landing page and fix this drop-off. That's the prompt. So why don't we need to list specific fixes? The power here is that Cursor infers what change to make based on your hypothesis. Different hypotheses lead to different solutions, and Cursor figures that out. Well, hopefully it does. Cursor will propose changes based on your hypothesis. You can see here it's improving the landing page to increase product visibility and click-through. Why do these changes make sense? Look at what Cursor suggested. Each change targets the click-through problem. So in the case of this screenshot here, not necessarily what we've asked it. It's suggested feature product section, puts products in front and center so users see them immediately. Larger product images, a shop now call to action. This gives users a clear next step, not leaving them guessing, and prices on landing page, so it reduces the friction rather than just showing them last minute. Cool, so we'll keep all. Move that over here. And then these aren't random changes, each one directly addresses the users don't know where to go by making products impossible to miss. In a real scenario, you deploy this and watch the funnel to see if that step improves. Cool, so I'll just take a screenshot of, scroll up a little bit, some of the changes here. What hypothesis did you form and what changes did Cursor propose? My hypothesis was that, we can actually copy the hypothesis. Cursor proposed changes like, said increasing product visibility. These changes would address the problem by making users, making it more clear for users what the product actually was. So my hypothesis was the products aren't visible or compelling enough. I think it's because there's a low conversion rate. Cursor proposed changes like increasing the product visibility. These changes address the problem by making it more clear for users what product actually was. Cool, so hypothetically, after we've gone and deployed this, we would see something more like the healthy one we touched on earlier. So this looks like this, so it's much higher. Like this isn't necessarily higher, that's another issue, but this is much higher, so much more users after we've made our changes, we expect to be going into the product page and actually being interested in the product rather than just jumping off and thinking, well, I don't actually understand this. Cool, so some users, as we talked about before, will always leave, distracted, just browsing. That's normal. The goal is eliminating the cliffs. And you could argue there's a cliff here. But what is your hypothesis? What if your hypothesis is wrong? What if you want to see exactly what users do before they left? That's where session replay comes in. So session replay is literally looking at what that person did. Awesome. Cool. So we will go over to our PostHog space over here. We'll go into search, and then we'll go into session replay, the app, and we should be able to see a flow here. Obviously this is what was us just before. Just going through and doing it. This might be on Edge, I'm not sure. There you go, Microsoft Edge. And we can see what this looks like. And in this case, this person didn't go through, or me didn't go through, and they just stopped at this product page. So maybe, if we can make this bigger so we can have a look. It's possible that maybe there was a visual bug that stopped them from doing something here, and then they thought, okay, well, I can't check out, so I'm not going to. But yeah, that's really the beauty of this. That's the bit you can't see with just raw numbers. There are bits and that aren't clear through that, and this gives you the most granular approach to that. So yeah, super useful to be able to come back and check, and you can see where people were, what OS they were on, the number of clicks, keys, etc. So super useful. Look at this. The user made it all the way to the payment page but never completed the purchase. Was the price too high? Did they get distracted? Did something look broken? This is exactly the kind of insight that helps you form a better hypothesis. So what to look for in session replays: confusion, so mouse moving around erratically; frustration, clicking a bunch in somewhere that isn't really a button or something like that; missed elements, user never scrolls where products are, so there could be products at the bottom of the page the user might be interested in, they just wasn't clear to scroll, so they didn't see them. Dead ends, user clicks something expecting it to work, but nothing ever happens. So in this case, I think the sign up button or the login button doesn't do anything on the site, so that hypothetically could be an issue. So session replays turn your hypothesis from a guess into a confirmed insight. Now you know why users left, and you can fix that with confidence. So we'll just upload a screenshot of the replay. What did you observe in the session replay, and what is the optimization cycle? I watched the replay and observed the user getting stuck. I know it was me in this case, but just testing sake, getting stuck on the product page. The optimization cycle involves improving the flow from the product page. This helps me because I was unclear until now why the user was stuck. Hypothetically, this person would have run into maybe a UI issue. In this case, it was just because I clicked off, but yeah, that's what we can do here. What did you observe in the session replay, and what is the optimization cycle? I watched the session replay and observed the user getting stuck on the product page. The optimization cycle involves improving the flow from the product page. This helps me improve or increase the flow, or the amount of customers that go from product page to checkout. It was unclear until now why users were getting stuck. The optimization cycle. What you just did is the core of data-driven optimization. So first we measured, collect data on user behavior, hypothesize, form a theory about why users behave that way. So that's that was unclear. Collecting data is through this, or the I'm going to make them go all the way back here, or like the landing page to payment submitted flow. The change is implementing a focused improvement, so that was improving the product visibility here using cursor, and then measuring was comparing results afterwards. Repeat the cycle continuously. Small improvements compound over time. Definitely smaller things are the best option here. Cool. So now we're going to do A/B testing, like Booking.com. Ready to level up? This section is for those who want to take their skills further. Booking.com runs thousands of A/B tests simultaneously. They don't guess which button text converts better. They measure it. You'll use PostHog's built-in experimentation to test a buy now versus complete purchase button while staying privacy compliant. Cool. So in the secret mission, get ready to set up PostHog A/B testing feature. create an experiment with 2 button variants and track conversions as your goal metric, and deploy and measure which variant wins. In the second mission, I'm setting up A/B testing to test which style of payment button leads to higher conversion. This removes guesswork by giving us the opportunity to gather data on both simultaneously. So what are you doing in the secret mission? In the secret mission, I'm setting up A/B testing to test which style of payment button leads to higher conversion. This removes guesswork by giving us the opportunity to gather data on both at the same time. Awesome. What is A/B testing? A/B testing, also called split testing, shows different users different variations of the same page. Half see buy now, variant A, half see complete purchase, variant B. This could be an entire page difference, it could be an order of instructions, it could be really anything. It removes guesswork from optimization, and we measure which one gets more conversions. Awesome. So now we're going to go into PostHog. Let me size it. Find the experiments app. So we'll go to search. We'll go to experiments. Click on that. Click new experiment. Enter a name. We're going to do checkout text test. It's all lowercase. We'll do checkout to match the screenshot. A button variant, and we can do a hypothesis. So changing the button text from buy now to complete purchase will increase conversions because it's clearer about what's happening next. Hypothetical. Okay, configure your experiment. Awesome. Cool. So, in exposure criteria, you can leave that one as default. Cool. So here we're suggested we update this to use first seen variant, and we don't filter out test users. We're doing this not because necessarily it's like in prod this might make a bit more sense to leave this as is, but we're doing testing and we want to see our test data in A/B testing, so we're gonna leave it as that. Cool. So we'll call this test. So the goal is tells PostHog how to measure success. Cool. So if we click add primary metric, click single use, we can give this a name. Really anything is fine. We can just go with maybe the same name we used here. And we can apply the same flow here. So page view landing. When I say the same flow, I mean the same flow we set up before for the funnel. And then we can just add clicked product. Then we can add buy now. And last but not least, we can do payment submitted. And yeah, our goal is to increase conversion window limit. We can leave that experiment duration and step order is sequential. You could do any order, but really we're interested in people in this test experiment going from the start to the end in that order. Yeah. see some events in this setup so far, which is good. So we can click create. We can click save as draft. Close that. And yeah, then we can click launch as well. Cool. So we see 0 exposure so far. That makes sense. Nothing's haven't done anything with this experiment running. That's cool. So now we're going to go implement this into Cursor. So implement the experiment in your code. Now let's add the experiment to your checkout page using Cursor. So we're going to open Cursor back up again, and we'll send this prompt off. Cool. So I can explain what what Cursor's being asked to do. I need to implement PostHog A/B testing for my checkout button. I need to implement I need to implement A/B testing for my checkout button using PostHog. Refactor the button rendering in this component to use the use PostHog hook from PostHog/React. Requirements, correct import, do not use this correct import. Logic, so instantiate the client, instantiate the client, retrieve flag value safely, so get feature flag. Feature flag is what we set to be test or control, and then there's two variants, test or control, as we just spoke about. And if it's test, you see the complete purchase, and if it's control, you see place order, and insert the import and the hook logic where they belong. Cool. Okay, again, just as important, we push this to Vercel to make sure this is all working. We do this by pushing our code to GitHub, again using git add, commit, and push. So we can actually just copy this. I'll clear this. Then I will just paste that in. It'll just do a push. And then we can go and check GitHub to see if this went through correctly. Should be fine. Cool, that looks correct. Give it a second. Awesome, so you can see the green tick again here, and if we click details, we can move to Vercel. We see it's deployed, so that's great. Nice. Alright, minimize that. Yep, so we can check Vercel, we can see it's deployed, it's great. We launched a little bit early, it doesn't really matter, but we did it. It's two Vercel's open. You click the launch button up there. So we're going to test our experiment now, and we're going to use incognito. This is really just a catch-all in case PostHog doesn't want to capture events from test users. That's kind of just to be careful. We'll do a few on here, just cycles through, see if it picks up anything, but it may not. And we'll just take note of this. So complete purchase. I believe that the other one, we can look at the cursor prompt. So control is place order. Test, so complete purchase. So it's currently on test at the moment. So it's displaying. There's a 50% chance of it displaying this, and there's a 50% chance of it displaying the other one, which is the place order, which is the control group. So that's like by default it'll be that. So if we click this, we should get a full run through. Go back to the store, and then I might just open this into a new incognito tab. I'll just paste this link in. So we'll go from here to clicking on the product, clicking buy now, and then place order. So I think that's the control group there. So that should be enough data, but we'll see if we'll do 2 more just to be thorough. So maybe this one we actually just end it here, or we'll end it here, so we won't actually click place order. One last one. This one will just go to here. So hopefully now we'll be able to see if we open PostHog. It could take some time for information to come through. There you go, 2 exposures. Very good. So we sort of touched on why incognito, but PostHog assigns variants based on user's distinct ID, usually stored in a cookie. Using incognito gives a fresh identity each time, so you see both variants. So we're going to monitor results now. So what to look for: conversion rates per variant, statistical significance. Is there a difference, or meaningful, or just random noise? Sample size, how many users have used each variant. So we're going to wait until PostHog shows significant before drawing any conclusions. As a rule of thumb, you need at least 20 conversions per variant. So in this case, obviously we only have 1, so it's not really that relevant, but you can see here the conversions drop off. So that's really interesting bit of information that we can pull together. So but we're getting both. We saw the 2 different buttons. That's really what A/B testing is about. And one group may see a very large conversion improvement, a much lower drop off, and so that could be this test. In this case, it looks like the test is significantly worse because all the users I dropped off by that point. So that's all real interesting information. Cool. So once PostHog shows statistical significance, if test wins, update your button to complete purchase. So that's like the act on doing this. So in this case, it would be ideal not to change. And if this was an issue, it's not the button clearly isn't the issue. If control wins, keep buy now. Your original button was better. That's what happened in our case. And then click complete experiment in PostHog to go through and set this up, or to set this up to like verify that you're finished, and anyone in your team can understand that. Awesome. So what you built. You've set up proper A/B testing framework, feature flags, so test and control, which is what it's 50% chance of triggering one, and that renders a different button on the user's screen. Goal tracking, so that measures actual conversions. That's this stuff here, primary metrics. Exposures, privacy compliance, that keeps PII, so personal identifiable information, out of your experiments. So there's no phone numbers or addresses or anything in here. Statistical rigor, that tells you when results are meaningful. This is the same approach that companies like Booking.com or Netflix use to optimize their products. Small measured experiments that compound into big improvements over time. Awesome. So let's take a screenshot of this. Have my cursor in it. What did your A/B results reveal about your checkout button? I created an experiment testing checkout button variants. The winning variant was the control group. This showed that I should not change the button. Why did your A/B test results? What did they reveal about your checkout button? I created an experiment testing checkout button variants. The winning variant was the control group. This showed that I should not change the button. Great. So ideas to go further. You want to keep experimenting. Try these. Test price display. That's $9.99 versus $10 versus less than a coffee. Changing numbers there. Maybe having text instead. Test button colors. Test page layout. Test social proof. So adding number of customers or purchases a week. is a great way to test whether your customers are really unmotivated perhaps to make the purchase. Remember, one variable at a time. Test the button text first, then move on to colors, then layout. No point in doing multiple. That will just make that effectively one change. So, if you're really keen to change an entire page, you could do that, I guess. But you're only testing like everything at once. You can't make a big change and then just pick out one element and then think that's, hey, users are on this page because of this. It's everything. Cool. So before you go, we're going to clean up our resources. Nice work in completing this project. Let's clean up the resources we created. Resources to delete. So we're going to decide whether to keep or remove PostHog tracking. So we can keep it. We can disable it temporarily or remove PostHog entirely. So we can uninstall it, delete PostHog and analytics.js we created, remove the initialization code, remove tracking calls from components, optionally delete the PostHog project from the dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and keep it. I don't mind, and I'd love to see more users on my app. So PostHog's free tier has no ongoing cost. You get 1 million events each month free. If you're continuing the FinOps series or want to keep the tracking your app's analytics, you can keep PostHog account active and keep the tracking code in your project. No action needed. Everything stays as is. Alright, that's a wrap. You've built a privacy-first checkout analytics platform that reveals where your users drop off without storing card numbers, billing addresses, or PII. What you learned: how to set up PostHog for privacy-first analytics, tracking users' behavior without storing PII, building conversion funnels that reveal drop-off patterns, and using data to form test hypotheses. You can also learn what you can and cannot track under PCI, DSS, GDPR, and CCPA. That's various privacy compliance laws in different places, California, Europe, elsewhere, and the measure, hypothesize, change, measure, optimization loop cycle. I've got a quiz here. What is the primary goal of setting up privacy-first analytics? To store all your data, to track where users drop off, to exclusively monitor performance, to integrate your social media platform with market campaigns. I would say it's to track where users drop off in the checkout flow without storing sensitive information. According to the project, why is it crucial to avoid tracking PII? It slows down performance. It's not technically possible. To avoid legal liability. Which 3 PostHog products are recommended for selection during the initial setup in this project? Feature flags, A/B testing, data warehousing, product analytics, session replays and experiments, CRM, marketing, user authentication, database management in this guide. What is the recommended privacy setting for sensitive input fields such as credit card numbers when using PostHog session replay? They should all be visible, only be visible to administrators. They should be masked with asterisks. They should be fully visible. They should be automatically deleted in session afterwards. I think it's B. In PostHog funnels, what does a cliff in conversion rates between 2 consecutive steps indicate? A healthy journey, significant problem or broken experiment, an issue with the analytics. The users are highly engaged in completing steps very quickly. A significant problem or broken experience with the product at that specific step. Awesome. What's next? You've completed the PostHog analytics setup. You can now track user behavior without storing sensitive data, build conversion funnels to identify drop-off points, form hypotheses and test improvements, run A/B testing to optimize conversions. And make sure to join the Next community as well. Join the Discord to stay connected. So what were the key tools and concepts you learned in this project? The key tools I used include PostHog and Vercel. Key concepts I learned include PII, A/B testing, and funnels. How long did this project take you to complete? Took me approximately 1.5 hours. The most challenging part was getting the A/B testing to work. It was most rewarding to see the A/B testing buttons changing. With the skills I learned, I want to build a larger e-commerce app, a larger tracked e-commerce app. Thanks for doing this project. Why did you do this project today? I did this project to learn how to track customer analytics on PostHog. Another analytics skill I want to learn is how to use A/B testing to change. We do A/B/C testing. 3 experiments in 1 page. Cool. Alright, so it shows mission accomplished here, so we can click that. Wow, look at that. How good. So we can share documentation. Look at this amazing documentation with our screenshots and text. We can edit stuff here and update screenshots. It's great. Awesome. Alright, well that was another project in the 21 and 21 projects, 21 days. Final project in the FinOps, Financial Ops series. It was on PostHog and looking at setting up experiments and understanding data in your web app. I hope you have enjoyed the series. I'll be back next time to do some disaster recovery stuff. Another requested project, slowly ticking through them. Yeah, super stoked. Alright, I'll see you guys later.